What's up, people? Hi, how are you guys doing? I am Evan Wanish. We are live. MrBucsNation Live is the first one that we're doing of this sort of a trial run, to be honest with you. Not really sure what to expect, but it's going to be a pretty chill night tonight. Not really going to be doing a whole lot, talking some Bucks with you guys, just hanging out here. Like I said, pretty chill. It might be something that we do more during the season as well as the season goes on. Let me know if you guys are here in the live chat. Please let me know. It's greatly appreciated. You guys hang out. What's up, Brady? Appreciate it. What's up, Giovanni? You guys excited for the year? Less than a week away. I mean, we got football this week, folks. We got football on Thursday. So, really excited. Let me know if you guys are down here in the chat. Where are you watching from? Are you watching in Florida? Are you not in Florida? Let me know. I'm always curious to hear about that. And I'll here to answer your questions, questions you have about the Bucks. Gonna run probably 45 minutes to an hour, probably gonna be at most an hour, I would say. So what's going on, Beast Productions? My day has been really good. Been a good Labor Day. So hope everybody else had a really nice Labor Day. Hope it's been relaxing. Or if you guys had picnics or anything like that, hope you guys had fun at those for sure. We're watching. Okay, Iowa. All right, Eric. Cool. Awesome. Awesome. Appreciate the support from Iowa. Really do. And appreciate, guys, really appreciate the support that you've given me on the channel. I know with James's situation that I was sort of a newcomer, and you guys have welcomed me in with open arms. I really do appreciate it. Try my best to give you guys the best Bucks coverage possibly can. So, what do you guys want to talk about? I mean, we could talk about the Bucks game coming up, even though we'll be covering that on the channel here. I actually just like a few minutes ago posted on Twitter my NFL season predictions. Went division by division. Just predicted the divisions and how they shake out, and also predicted the Super Bowl matchup. So we could talk about that if you wanted to as well. The Blessed King from Texas, awesome, awesome, awesome. Glad to have you in from Texas here. Like I said, first one of these, it's gonna be more of a like sort of like a trial run, and I'm really excited to get going. I really am excited. You guys are, like I said, eager to talk about something, let me know. We'll talk about it. So, really, really pleased to be doing this. So, if you guys haven't checked out our latest video on the channel, that is actually our season predictions where me and James went game by game and predicted each game on the Buccaneers schedule, win and loss. So go check that out if you guys haven't already. We appreciate all the support you've given us so far, but if you haven't checked that out, be sure to check it out. It's a pretty good video, and me and James had some interesting differences, I guess you could say, on whether or not the Buccaneers would win or lose certain games. So, like I said, be sure to check that out. All right, Roberts in Florida. There we go. Over under 4.5 touchdowns for Sean Tucker. I'm gonna go under just because I don't know how much playing time he's exactly going to get. Um, I do think he will see time, but I think Rashad White's going to be the running back one in this offense for the most part. Brady asks, "How do you think Kirk Cousins will do against the Bucks defense?" It's interesting because we didn't see the Bucks defense much in the preseason, and Kirk Cousins was actually one of those guys that didn't play any snaps in the preseason. He was one of the few starters in the NFL that didn't play any snaps. So, curious to see how he's going to come out. Now, the Buccaneers, their secondary is going to have a tall task because Justin Jefferson's probably the best receiver in the NFL. They drafted Jordan Addison in the first round. Then, of course, they got guys like KJ Osborne, who's pretty good, and TJ Hawkinson, who just got a brand new deal there in Minnesota. So it's going to be a challenge, I think. The Lone Buccaneer asked, "Do you think Trey Palmer could have a breakout rookie season?" I think he'd be good. I really like the draft pick when they initially made it. And I am really, really curious to see how he's used in this offense in the regular season when you have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin there and all the pieces. I'm curious to see how they use Palmer. So we'll see. But I do think he could be pretty good. What's Cousins' stats against the blitz? I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that the Vikings offensive line has, at times last year, they struggled a little bit. So wouldn't shock me if Todd Bowles dials up a few blitzes here and there in that game to try and get some pass rush. I think if the Buccaneers can't get pass rush, it could be a long day because, like I said, I just mentioned all the Vikings weapons. I think they're one of the better weapons in the league. Justin Jefferson being that good certainly helps. So I hopefully they can get home because if they can't, it could be a long day for the secondary. Over under 2 touchdowns for Mike Evans against the Vikings. Yeah, I mean you're pretty optimistic for Mike Evans stats against the Vikings, and the Vikings secondary has definitely um has definitely the whole defense really struggled last year, but I'm not sure about 2 touchdowns for Mike. I'll give him one. I'm not sure about two though. What's up, Mikey in the chat? Tony S. Why is Logan Hall such a disappointment? Logan Hall, when they drafted him, was always to me viewed as like a project anyway. It just hasn't worked out so far. So hopefully he sees a little more playing time this year. Obviously, last year he wasn't really a full-time starter, and that's fine. But you're hoping to see a little bit more. I think Bucs fans were hoping to see more during the preseason, and it just didn't happen. So we'll see what Logan Hall looks like. There's a couple guys on this Buccaneers defense that I think can be in that kind of category of like we'll see. So. But yeah, let me know if you guys are in the chat. Willie Beeman, long supporter of podcast Campfire podcast. Yeah, eventually Justin Jefferson will be the highest paid wideout in the game. Yeah, for sure. Zachary asks, is Cansey back to practice? He is not. Elijah Cansey did not practice today. Probably not on track to play week 1. So his NFL debut will most likely not be this week. Tony also says JTS too. Yeah, I mean, I think JTS has obviously found more success so far than Logan Hall has. But I mean, I think it's a pretty critical year for Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. Being a first-round pick, every first-round pick has a fifth-year option. And after your third season, the team the following offseason has to decide whether or not to pick up your fifth-year option. So I do think it's a pretty critical year because it could determine a lot of Joe Tryon-Shoyinka's future with Tampa Bay. I think he's got to be good, and especially with Shaq Barrett. Shaq Barrett's coming off the injury. Anthony Nelson's not really a pass rush specialist, and then they have a rookie in Yaya Diaby. So I do think Joe Tryon-Shoyinka is going to need to be one of those guys that really steps up here. What else have we got? Let me know. We got 24 people in the chat right now. Really cool. Like I said, sort of a trial run. I think we're going to be doing this a lot throughout the season. Thank you, Willie. Appreciate it. I do think we are going to be doing this throughout the year, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe once a week. It might not be Monday because of Monday Night Football and stuff. I don't want to distract you guys from anything like that. So might be on a day like a Wednesday maybe where there's no football. We will see. But yeah, very excited to, like I said, to be back doing live streams. I love doing streams and everything. Mikey, Philly Bucs fan. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, if you guys are in the chat, let me know. Let me know so I can shout you guys out. Shout you guys out in the chat. Obviously, if you really want to question Red, super chats are always appreciated. Not required, but appreciated, of course. If Carlton Davis shuts out Jefferson, I think we will win. I think it's a big key. It's definitely a big key. Todd Bowles' future will rely heavily on coaching and development. Hall, Gedeke, White, Otten, Cansey, Mock, Tucker, Palmer. That's a lot of names. Hopefully, coaching staff develops them. Yeah, I mean, you all those names you read, it could play very key roles on the 2023 Buccaneers. So you're right. I mean, it really could. I mean, I would say even if half those guys really struggle this year, the Buccaneers might struggle just because you're looking at Gedeke starting right tackle, Rashad White starting running back, Cade Otten starting tight end, Elijah Cansey projected to be a starter. Trey Palmer right now with the injury of Russell Gage. Trey Palmer's probably the wide receiver 3. Cody Mount because the starting right guard. So Robert asked, do you think we should have let Super Bowl Lenny go? Yeah, it was time. he was a good player for the Buccaneers. He served his purpose, but it was time. Towards the end there, it seemed like Leonard Fournette was like running in cement. It just he didn't really have as much burst as he used to, and it really hurt him. So Rachaad White showed off, and Rachaad White's not even like a speed burner, but it was just such a change of pace from what Leonard Fournette was showing you that it really seemed like it. But yeah, I mean, wish nothing but the best to Lenny. He's a big part of why they won the Super Bowl for sure. You don't get the nickname Super Bowl Lenny without for no reason, I guess you could say. But yeah, I think it was the right decision, especially facing the cap crunch that they were. I think they really didn't have much of a choice. But even if they weren't facing the cap crunch, probably still would have just moved on and had Rachaad White be the starter. What else we got? 28 people equals 28 likes. Yeah, get the likes up, guys. Really appreciate it. Get those likes up. I have Justin Jefferson in fantasy. Cool. Good for you. Did you have the first pick? Do you think this year will be a breakout year for Rachaad White? I mean, it could be. I mean, he's in a great spot to do it. He is in a fantastic position to do it. I mean, Sean Tucker's there, but like other than that, there's like I don't even know if you consider Sean Tucker real competition. There isn't much competition like at all for snaps there. So I think Rachaad White is gonna see a lot of workload here. Saw Justin Jefferson, the 6-year-old brother, going crazy at the wide position. There you go. Let's see. Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate it, Billy. Willie. Bill. Well, I could call you Billy. Billy Beeman. Like, mixed up my words there. Yeah, appreciate it, Willie. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, first pick have Jefferson and Mahomes and Cooper Kupp in a 12-man league. Wow, good for you. Good if Cooper Kupp is if Cooper Kupp's healthy, that's big. That's big. Tim asked, "You believe Baker will lead you to playoffs?" Well, if you saw the season predictions that we did on the channel here, and also if you wanted a more detailed season prediction, go over to Cannon Fire Podcast, where me and my co-host Rhett, we broke it down a little bit more detail for each game. So it's like over an hour long show. You guys can go check that out. So yeah, can he? Yeah, I think he can. It's just I have other worries about the team here. Like I think the offensive line's a worry. The potential lack of pass rush and obviously health. Health's a big deal. So going to the NFC Championship. Well, that's NCF Championship. So I don't know what that is, but I'm just kidding with you. NFC Championship, Evan. Hey, it'd be nice. That'd be a pretty big surprise, though. I think even the most optimistic Bucs fans probably don't have them going to the NFC Championship. Probably not. So, but hey, I like the optimism. I appreciate the optimism. If you guys are here, let me know where you're from. We got a brand new batch of people in here. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Really curious to hear. Like I said, if you really want a question asked, you can always give us a super chat. Donations are appreciative, not required. But we do appreciate all. We appreciate the support regardless. Like I appreciate you just watching this right now. Like really, really do. So Rich asked, why doesn't the Bucs utilize backup center of any other capable person to be a long snapper and save a roster spot? That's actually an interesting question. Don't really know, to be honest with you. I think that'd be more of a question like for a Jason Light, I guess, on roster construction. It's just what they prefer. Obviously, Zach Triner's been the long snapper. I will say probably some centers probably struggle to do that. Yeah, the Bucs had Ryan Jensen, Robert Hainsey. Obviously, Jensen's not playing, so like Hainsey's there. Nick Leverett was filling in a little bit at center. So sometimes like centers may not be the best at that. Appreciate you putting all my socials down there, Willie. Got the name right this time, Willie. You guys watching any college football? I'm gonna turn it here. I just had the Phillies on. To be honest with you guys, I don't know if you guys know, but I do live around the Philadelphia area. So I'm not a Rays fan. I'm not a Lightning fan. I am a Flyers fan. I'm a Phillies fan, Sixers fan. So Baker NFL MVP candidate. I don't know about that. That'd be something though. I mean, that would be one heck of a story. One heck of a story. Who do you think Baker's favorite target will be? Well, I mean, honestly, if we're just looking at the preseason, I mean, he threw a lot to Chris Godwin. Obviously, he threw a touchdown, threw a couple other balls. So I think Chris Godwin's going to see a lot of volume in this offense. Caleb Williams is different. You've seen his highlights. I have, and he's ridiculous. He is ridiculous. I'm watching the Clemson Duke game right now. A little bit surprised. Duke up right now, 13-7. They have the ball, but yeah, Caleb Williams is insane, and I'm sorry, Bucs fans. I really am. I know a lot of you guys are dreaming of Caleb Williams in a Bucs jersey. I got two things for you. One, the Buccaneers won't be that bad. Like the Buccaneers, just they're not going to be that bad this year. Not bad enough to get the number one overall pick. Two, even if they would be bad, the Cardinals are going to be worse. Like I fully believe the Cardinals are going to be worse. I would assume that they will trade Kyler Murray to somebody that wants a quarterback. Cue the maybe Tampa. But I do believe that Kyler Murray will be on his way out. Caleb Williams will be on his way in. I mean, their starter might be Josh Dobbs. They don't even have a starter listed right now. So I think it's clear who the worst team in the NFL is going to be. Mike Evans gets that extension. Him and Chris get 2K yards, 12 plus each. And that'd be something. Out of all the seasons, this would be the season to be bad. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think if you're looking in that sense, I think you're right because I think Williams is a special prospect. But I just honestly, even if the Buccaneers were to like trade Mike Evans right now, I don't think they're like as bad of a football team as the Arizona Cardinals are right now. I just don't. Uh, my guy is Drake May. He really gives me Justin Herbert vibes in his play style. Yeah, I see a lot of Herbert in May as well. I like May. There's so many quarterbacks. And look, right now, I can probably name you 6 or 7 quarterbacks that I have on my radar. But that doesn't mean necessarily that all of them are guys are going to be really good. Yeah, guys fall out of the running, fall into the running. So I like Drake May. I like Michael Penix Jr. from Washington. Has a little bit of injury concerns. Is pretty old for a rookie as well. So Robert, how do you see the NFC South? I think the Saints are going to actually take it. I don't think there's going to be like a clear, like, oh, the Saints won the division by 3 games. Like, I think every team's going to have a shot at one point or another. But I think at the end of the day, the Saints' experience and their quarterback play is going to be just enough, I think, to edge out some of the other teams here in the division. So, for as much as Bucs fans don't want to hear it, I do have the New Orleans Saints winning the NFC South. What's your Super Bowl pick? I think there's a good chance we see a rematch. I think there's a good chance that we see a Super Bowl rematch from last year, Kansas City, Philadelphia. I do think we will see possibly a rematch, and I think Philly could win that one. Is Penix up at age like Hendon Hooker? Yeah, I think he's gonna be. Looking it up now. Think might be 20. He's 23 now. I think. Oh yeah, he'll be a 24-year-old rookie. From Tampa though, obviously, pretty local kid. Campfire Podcast. My guy Rhett is in the chat. Everybody go check out Campfire Podcast. Is my podcast that I co-host with Rhett and Matthew over there. Like I said, we just did our season prediction show. It's a little bit more detailed than the one me and James did. We go through every game. We talk about the matchups, why the Buccaneers may or may not win or lose. And we also got the whole season of coverage to look ahead to. So got a lot of fun things for you guys planned over on the podcast there. Going to be going live for our recap shows immediately following the game. Going to be taking your calls as well during it. So I'm really excited to get going here for sure. Do you think Baker will be benched at one point this year. If so, predict the week. Oh boy. Well, I for the Bucs' sake, I hope not, and for his sake, I hope not, and for Todd Bowles, I hope not. But if he were, I think you're maybe looking at like after week 8, like they play Thursday night in Buffalo. Then you have like 10 days off. If they're really struggling, then maybe you see Trask. But I don't know. It's tough to predict if he's going to be benched. I based on how I had my season predictions, I didn't have Baker being benched, so I wouldn't count on it. But never know. It's happened before. We got 30 people. 30 people in the chat. Appreciate it, guys. Really, really, really appreciate it. Do you believe this is Bowles' last season in Tampa? So that's another tough one. I mean, if they win 6 or 7 games, I think it's a tough debate. I really do. But obviously, if they win like 4 or 3, that's easy. But they win 6, 7, 8 games, I think it's tough. What will stop the Bucs from being a good team this year? Oh, these darn podcasts, I think. I mean, especially the ones with 2 guys, one of them's got a red beard. Well, one of them doesn't really have a beard, but he pretends he does. I don't know what those guys are doing. Robert, if Vita Vea gets double teamed all year, who do you think needs to step up? I think it's Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, and I've talked about JTS a lot. I think Joe Tryon-Shoyinka is one of the X factors for this defense. I really do. I think that he is one of the X factors. He's one of the guys you're going to look at and say, all right, like they need somebody, right? And also he's a young player. Like he could be the future pass rusher here for the Buccaneers. He needs to work out. Like it needs to work out. It's got to be a pick that needs to pay dividends this season. Oddly specific. Well, everybody has their stereotype, right? So is what it is. But if you do want to see a guy with a red beard and a guy with half a beard, go follow Cannon Fire Podcast. Go watch, and you can see all that you guys want. You can see all that you guys want. Appreciate everybody in the stream tonight. Like I said earlier, for those joining now, trial run. So it might be earlier in the evening eventually during the season. Might be sort of like 9 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock. So we'll see, but still figuring it out. This is my first ever stream that I've done on my own. So just hanging out. It's going well, though. I appreciate all the support from you guys. All right. Let's see. What else we got in the chat here? Proud of you. Hey, appreciate it. Appreciate it, Red. That means a lot. Coming for you, it means a lot. That means a lot. Oh, thanks, Robert. Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you for being here, honestly. Like, really, it means the world to me you guys are here. So really, really happy that you guys are here. Me, huh? I'm just hanging out. Quinn Ewers should be a first round pick. I don't know. I'm not as big of a fan as Ewers as some others are. Just not as big of a fan. I get it, like I do, but not the biggest fan in the world. Oh, let's see. Is Luke G gonna have a long day tomorrow? Well, considering they don't play tomorrow, I mean, he could have a long day. I don't know what his day looks like. I don't know what he's got on the docket for tomorrow, to be honest with you, but he could. No, I'm just, you never know. I mean, he might be going up against Danielle Hunter a little bit on Sunday. That's not great. Danielle Hunter's one of the better pass rushers in the NFL, but we'll see. Will Mike Evans get 1,000 yards? Boy, I sure hope so. Because I think the only thing that might anger people, not more, but pretty close to it, is if Mike Evans, like Mike Evans traded, okay, or anything, or not re-signed. The thing that would anger the people the second most would be if he doesn't get 1,000 yards. So for our sake, I hope he does, because then we don't have to hear it. But I'll say yeah. Why not? He's gotten 1,000 yards with Mike Glennon, Josh McCown, Jameis Winston, Ryan Fitzpatrick, like all these guys throwing the ball to him. So like, yeah, why not? Fine, he'll get 1,000. Will the Bucs/Glazers pay Mike after or before September 9th and after September 9th? I like this two-parter. I don't think they get a deal done by Saturday. I do not think they get a deal done in 5 days. So, that being said, I just have a feeling that they are going to get a deal done eventually. I just don't think it's going to be Saturday. I don't think it's going to be during the season either. I think that means like there's going to be nothing happening during the season. So it might be a stressful time for Bucs fans, but I do think when push comes to shove, I think they're going to try and work something out. Will Rachaad White get 1K yards rushing? I just don't know if the offensive line's gonna be good enough for that. Honestly, like I think he could get close. I just don't know if he's gonna exactly do it. Let me know if you guys are here. If we got any new people in the chat, let me know where you're watching this from. I'm always curious to hear where you guys are watching the stream from, where you guys are supporting from. So let me know for sure. Tampa. All right, born and raised, right? What's your prediction for QB next season? I think Baker's going to be. I don't know. Think of there'll be moments he'll be good. There'll be moments where you're like, this guy is something. I think that's what you're going to get with him. The bag on him has been very mixed. It has been a mixed bag, and that's a reason he's not in Cleveland anymore. There's a reason he's not with the Panthers. There's a reason the Rams didn't keep him. Like, I think there is definitely some inconsistencies with his game. You think he'll be back like next season, like in 2024? Too early to tell. Mike has went above and way beyond for the team, organization, and community. Allowing him to hit the open market would be a huge slap in the face. You might not be wrong, and there is a lot of people that feel that way as well. There is. Is that a vote of confidence from Evan Wanish? Okay, I'm not necessarily saying that, but I'm not saying that. Evan Wanish does not have 100% confidence in Baker Mayfield. Who can? Nobody can. Charles watching from Georgia. Awesome. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Charles. Appreciate you tuning in tonight. Appreciate everybody. New Zealand. All right, Dan Chadwick from Dunedin, New Zealand. If that's how you're supposed to pronounce Dunedin, I hope I didn't butcher that. In New Zealand, you never know. But New Zealand, wow, that's awesome. Appreciate it. Really, really do. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm here to just hang out, answer some questions, stuff like that. So let me know. You guys in any fantasy football drafts? I'm in a couple, but you guys do a fantasy at all? Robert, unfortunately, this is a business. You're right, and at the end of the day, I think it is a business, and it sucks because you don't really want to think that way, but teams and players both think the same. They both think the same. It is a business. And when push comes to shove, that's what matters. The dollar signs, right? That's what matters. Are you ready for week one? I sure am, Shaggy. I sure am. Not just for the Bucs, but just for football in general. Like, I'm ready for Thursday night, man. I'm ready to go. You kidding? Absolutely. Ready to roll. Football's back. Of course, I'm watching college football on my TV right now. Duke is upsetting Clemson right now. I don't think Duke will hold on, but they're doing it right now. So we'll see. Favorite Bucs uniform combo. It's got to be, to me, it's just the classic red and pewter. from either era, from like the 2000s or from this one. I personally really like the shade of pewter, I guess, that they have used for the new ones. I really like it. So I like the, I don't know, it's just me. I like the less shiny on the pants. I just like it less shiny. Notice the uptick with international fans on the channel when TB12 came to town. Hey, we appreciate it. Appreciate it all. I mean, watching from New Zealand, somebody chooses to watch me from New Zealand. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Gator's going to be a mess this year, undisciplined. Yeah, it wasn't a great showing, right? I mean, right from the start, right from the jump, not a great showing, but we'll see. Florida State looks pretty good. I think if Bucs go 1-5, Evans and White might get traded. What do you think? It's interesting. That is interesting. That's a very interesting question. I think it would depend on how things go. I think it would depend on how those negotiations are sort of playing out. Like, do the Bucs get the vibe that Evans and White just no matter what, like they're not coming back? If you're 1-5 and you get the vibe that neither one of them have any interest in re-signing with you, maybe. I do agree with Rhett from CFP there, though, that um, I think White would be more likely in that scenario. But it wouldn't shock me if there's a world where if the Bucs are that bad and they decide like, hey, this season's done. If the Bucs are that bad, it wouldn't shock me. So we'll see. How do you end up being a Bucs fan from the beginning? Just curious about the story given you're in Philly. Yeah. Basically my dad, pretty much. So my dad obviously he was born in 1965. Watched football. So when the Buccaneers became a team, he was around 11. And the story was he really, really liked their helmets. He really liked the Buccaneers helmets when they first came in the league. And then the Buccaneers drafted Ricky Bell, who was one of his favorite college players. So it was kind of a perfect storm. And obviously back then couldn't watch Tampa because he was here, in the Philly area. So he couldn't watch Tampa. So he'd read, the newspaper clippings and stuff like that. Maybe see a highlight or two on the TV. And then as he got older, just started to get a little bit more. And I think he's had the Sunday ticket to watch every game since like it became a thing in like 1996 or whatever. It's been a long time. But yeah, pretty much my dad. I grew up in it pretty much. So didn't really get into it much until about 2011 is when I really got into sports. But ever since then, yeah. It's been said they wouldn't want to ship Mike off unless it's perfect for both sides. Yeah, I know. It's just to me, if he says, "Look, I'm not resigning. Can you send me to a Super Bowl contender?" Wouldn't you rather take a pick? Agreed. Rondé shut down the vet in style. He sure did. We still can brag about that today, right? I appreciate the question, Noetic Squint. Really do appreciate the question. It's a cool question. I get it a lot. Like a lot of people are curious, so always happy to share that story. Believe it or not, Evan's dad actually was the likeness used for the Bucko Bruce logo. Well, yeah, you guys haven't seen my dad, but oh yeah. Thanks again, Evan. Nice job. Let's go Bucs and fire the cans. I appreciate it, Robert. I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate everybody in here right now. I really do. Like I said, there will be a schedule where we do this for about an hour a week. So it will be a set night, probably a little bit earlier than this. So during the season. So I hope to see you guys there as well. No, but we got about maybe another 20 minutes left or so here. If you guys want to keep talking, I'm just gonna hang out, watch a little bit more of this game. Yeah. So how was everybody's Labor Day? Everybody have a good Labor Day weekend, just the whole weekend as a whole. Did you guys do anything? Go to any parties or anything? Do any fancy football drafts? I know it's, I know it's pretty busy nowadays with that. Getting off work. Cool. Appreciate you jumping in the stream here. time flies by so fast. I was in 11th grade when Rondé had that game and they picked 6. Wow. Good night. Good night, Robert. Appreciate it. You want to text me a StreamYard link? Yeah, I could. Hang on real quick. Go Bucs. Excited to see what we can do this year. What do you think of the Glazers owners? They seem to be good NFL owners, but awful Premier League owners. I think they're fine. Like, they've invested a lot in the team. They really have. They've invested a lot in the team, and yeah, I think especially recently, I mean, brand new practice facility, upgrades to the stadium. They've invested a lot, so I think they're solid NFL owners. I can't really speak on the soccer stuff just because I don't follow it. Like, I don't know. So it's tough for me to speak on the soccer stuff, but yeah. You know James' story of becoming a Bucks fan? Never had the chance to ask him. I imagine you know his Bucks beginning. I mean, he's born and raised in Florida, so I think that one's pretty simple. He is born and raised a Floridian, so his story is much more simpler than mine. I imagine he just grew up liking sports, and the Bucks were the team. So, but hang on one second. All right, we got this. We got this. I kind of expected it. Been a hardcore fan myself since '98. Awesome. Awesome. Really, really, really cool. Really cool. Oh, what else we got? Born and raised myself here as well. Yeah, that's cool, man. I respect it for sure. There's a lot of guys like that. Who do you think is the next player to be put in the Ring of Honor? Simeon Rice. It's a good question. I don't know. Could be Simeon. It definitely could be. I think Brady has a shot to be, and I know it might anger some people, but I think Brady could get in before Simeon. It's just what it is. Shaggy, born and raised in the Midwest, became Bucks fans and troll Bears and Packers fans in the family. Do you have any cool stories? Do you have any like stories of anything there? I mean, yeah, do you have any stories? As we have a guest here, really quick, we have a guest coming to you live from what appears to be his living room. And it appears, as you can see, the full kitchen or something. I don't know. Something. Oh, he's got a whole setup. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Rhett Matthew, the Cannon Fire podcast. What's up, man?
What's up, buddy? I am stuck at work right now.
You work. What are you doing at work this late?
Believe it or not, I am editing video. I think I can flip this around and show you.
So you wish it was your living room, but it's actually like the opposite.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm sitting here on DaVinci Resolve, uploading podcast, just getting some work done. It's late at night. This is our live setup over here, our big live computer. But yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing good. Just hanging out for probably another 10 minutes or so, 20 minutes. But moving to Newport Richie on the 30th. We need an in-person watch for the Bucs Saints games. Watch party. Is that what I'm hearing? Am I hearing a watch party for Bucs Saints Week 5? Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't want to say we're running out of time, but that definitely is something we should look into. I forgot you were reading chat at first, so when you said you were moving to Newport Richie on the 30th, I was like, that's so soon. Like, what? That's a big move. I was excited. I thought you were moving down here. I actually, believe it or not to hijack your thing, but what I'm sitting here working on is a podcast for my boss, Bubba. He started it with Tony Mandarich. It is called Past Packers Podcast. And basically every episode they're going to interview old Packers players. And they got Sterling Sharp for the first episode. and he cut it down by quite a lot because Sterling Sharp doesn't do media appearances, and like the guy is so humble, he's like really mean about it. It was a very interesting dynamic. Yeah, people should check that out. That's coming up this week.
Yeah,
Anyway,
for
sorry.
sure. No, you're good. Shaggy said my uncle literally lost it in the 2020 NFC Championship. I bet, I bet he did. So obviously, you're gonna have a good time though. The Bucs play both the Packers and the Bears this year, so you'll have a good time, Shaggy. Like the Mac Jones parody about him and Tom Brady by bench warmer Bran Rhett. Okay, it just says Rhett in all capitals. I don't know. Just appreciate the comment, but can you elaborate a little bit on that for us, please? Yeah, but if you guys are here just hanging out, let me know. If you guys have just joined, I know I posted a link on my Instagram, so that's why if you guys have just joined, let me know where you're watching from. So it's me, Evan Wanish of this channel, but also before this channel even was Can of Fire Podcast. Still do the Can of Fire Podcast, of course, and that's Rhett Matthew, who I do the Can of Fire Podcast with. So we just did our season prediction show. Be sure to check that out. Like I said, if you want more detailed descriptions of each game, check that out. The extreme excitement for Rhett coming on. Okay, I think he might have been typing the comment. Saw
Right.
you came on. I was like, Rhett. Oh
Hey,
my god.
I was excited in chat earlier. I was tossing around a lot of capital letters. How do you
Yeah.
feel about the NFC North this year? Do you agree with me that the Lions are probably the team that has the best chance at winning, or do you think Jordan Love is going to be good enough to help Green Bay cross the finish line? Because I don't think it's going to be Minnesota, and I damn sure don't think it's going to be the Bears.
Yeah, real quick, Noetic Squint is in West Orlando, and then Chuck E. Bob is in. I'm a Bucs fan at Vikings country. Looking forward to their game this year. Game this year's in a couple days, man. Let's go. Are you going to the game? You try going to the game? Yeah. I speaking of the NFC North, obviously the Vikings are in that. I do think the Lions probably win. I think it's going to be close, but I do think that the Lions probably win. I think I had it. Lions 1, Vikings 2, Packers 3, Bears 4. And like I don't think there's going to be much separating the Bears. The Packers and Vikings, but I think Jordan Love's going to be like a game manager, kind of like what I saw on the pod. Like I think he could be like an Alex Smith type, but Cannon Fire should do skits from the perspective of Bucs fans after each game. Will be funny. Like, well, what do you mean?
No, like they do on like the TikToks or like Tom Grossi or some of those.
Oh, okay, I know what you mean.
I think James has done some of them before, like the reaction, like
Okay.
put your acting chops on and.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'd be good at that. I couldn't keep a straight
You're
face.
talking about-
There
you're a
need to
born-
be
you're a
like 20
born-
takes.
You're a born actor.
Well, that is true. They haven't seen my reel, I guess. But
Yeah.
22 people in the live chat right now. Let me know where you guys are from. Let me know what is your of 1 to 10. What's your level of excitement for not the season, but just the Bucs versus Vikings week 1 matchup? What is your level of excitement? Drop some predictions also for that week 1 game. I want to hear them. We can discuss them, and drop a bold prediction maybe that you might have for that particular game. So we have a lot of stuff coming out on CFP though, for sure, right, Rhett?
Oh yeah, I am. By the way, I am a 9.5 on a scale of 1 to 10 about football being back. I am so excited to see the Bucs on TV again. But in the back of my mind, I just think about we just did our season prediction show last week, and we went game by game. And spoiler, we both agreed that the Bucs may not come out of this one victorious. And I don't know. I don't know.
It's a tough game. I don't think it's an easy game. Even though I think the Vikings will take a step back this year, they still made the playoffs last year. And Justin Jefferson, like Kirk Cousins, no slouch. Like they still got talent. When did game manager become a derogatory description? I don't think game manager is a bad thing. I just think it can be a good thing, and I just think people are sort of saying, and I think Mina Kimes on her podcast had Theo Ash, I think on might not have been Theo Ash. Sorry if I got that wrong, but he said sort of like people are expecting like them to be either like Favre Rodgers or just be a bust. Like why can't he sort of be in the middle there?
Yeah.
Chucky Bob says Bucs surprise everyone and blow out the Vikings by 21. That'd be something. Not so much a prediction, but if the Bucs can pull off a win against the Vikings, it will do wonders for their confidence all around. The defense would have to have a monster day for that to happen. And Fred Moore is watching in Delaware. Go Bucs. 10-7 record. 10-7 would be pretty good. I mean, you're not quite as optimistic as our boy Mikey was in here earlier saying they're going to the NFC title game, but we won our first Super Bowl with a game manager with Brad Johnson. Yeah, and a lot of teams have won Super Bowls with game managers.
They won that. I mean, well, he threw 40 touchdowns, so it's hard to say he was a game
he's
manager.
Not a game manager.
Tampa, but when people were saying that about Tom Brady coming in to 2020, even Bucs fans were saying like, all we need him to do is be a game manager. So throw the label on him if you want to. But
I will say in today's NFL though, it's a little bit more important, to actually take the reins sometimes, right? Because you see the level of quarterback play around the league, and it's raised so much.
Well, and I also feel like, an offensive scheme is going to take you as far as it'll take you as well. Like, there's been guys who have been run off of teams for being too conservative. You know what I mean? Like, not quite as not as much of a risk taker, obviously, but I think about, like, Marcus Mariota in Tennessee. Like, the biggest gripe with him for the longest time is that, like, dude, he just doesn't take any chances with the ball. It's a lot of check downs. There's none of these explosive plays, and he's pretty easy to figure out because your pass game just isn't effective. When you have an offensive system that can, help those guys out and make their job easier and start scheming guys open, as we've heard so much about with Dave Canales now coming in, I think I'm interested to see not only where this offense is week one, but like what their peak is going to look like this season. What are they going to look like after 7 weeks, 7-8 weeks?
Yeah, for sure. A12W says Bucs got better after losing Brady this season. Debate me about it. It's true. Younger and faster team. New rookie play caller with a QB who can play at a pretty high level out of the pocket. I mean, the one thing I will say is like I have to give it to you. Like, it will be interesting to see how they utilize a more mobile quarterback. Baker Mayfield's not Lamar Jackson, but like he's definitely, has legs, and you've seen him even utilize that during the preseason. So I'm curious to see the rollouts and stuff like that. I don't know if they got better just because like pure talent, even though Brady had a down year. I just think pure talent, Brady's the more talented quarterback. And also the rookie play caller. We don't know what that rookie play caller is going to be. So I don't know if they got better, but I do think it's going to be a fresher look, I will say.
I want to ask you a question so bad.
Go ahead.
Would you take... Now, there's no guarantee in this hypothetical scenario. There's no guaranteeing Dave Canales is the offensive coordinator for Tampa. But would you take a 46-year-old Tom Brady over Baker Mayfield week one against the Vikings?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say that I would too, but, people, and this is just more so responding to the take that the Bucs got better after losing Brady. Like, I feel like it's almost subjective just because Brady still had juice, man. Like, I feel like the people who deny it and the people who overanalyze film and the people who were like, oh, well, he missed this throw, so clearly he's washed. I mean, the people who wanted to find every excuse in the book for Tom Brady not being the guy anymore, like, a rough year for him in the twilight of his career was 25 touchdowns and 9 interceptions on an offense with an offensive coordinator that was just so bad, like a run game that was historically bad. And I know we're kind of derailing the Bucs talk with Tom Brady talk, but this is relevant. Like, I really do think that if somehow they got Tom a fresh coordinator, no idea who that would have been just because he's, been around for so long, but it's like,
to say they would have gotten like a Bill O'Brien or something, like I think he might have maybe looked a little bit better. Like,
I think the weeks that, like, I think there were weeks that he did look off, Chucky Bob says it in chat. Brady looked awesome some weeks and he looked awful other games. I agree. Like, he played some of his worst games as a Buck, probably some of the worst games of his career in Tampa. But I feel like those weeks the team gave up on him too. Like, I bring this example up time and time again, but Mike Evans in that game against Carolina in Carolina
Drops the ball
on the third play of the game.
Yeah, wide open, just drops it.
Trevor Thicamo was talking about this on the podcast with us. He heard Mike talk about it in the post game press conference about how like after that drive, the whole sideline was just deflated. And it's like, dude, like on the third play from scrimmage, the whole team was just deflated. Like you guys were just couldn't recover.
Yeah.
Like this was the team that won a Super Bowl less than 2 years prior. It was just there were certain weeks where it was definitely much more than Tom Brady sucking it up. It never felt like he was the main reason. And I know that on a surface level, it just sounds like a couple of Brady fanboys making excuses, but like, I don't know. It's just fun to think about, dude. One of the greatest of all time. It's still crazy to think he played in Tampa.
Yeah, for sure. A12W says gotta stay healthy. That's the key, especially with. We've talked about it a ton on the podcast. I've written about it. I also write for BucsNation. We talked about it on this channel, everywhere. The inexperienced depth that they have in the secondary and on the offensive line is scary. So if they go down, if a couple guys go down, it could not be pretty. And hopefully they have really good health in those certain areas, because if not, then you're talking about, hey, Tristan Wirfs goes down, God forbid, but, Tristan Wirfs or Levante David or Carlton Davis, they go down for an extended period of time. You could be talking about pretty rough sailing here. So hopefully they do stay healthy, but only got a couple minutes left. Let me know if you guys are brand new here. I've been doing this all night. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Would appreciate it. Go Bucs 1911 says, think Mayfield's going to play better than people expect. He's really not too bad of a QB. Look what he did with Cleveland. Come on. How long did they go without a playoff win? Yeah, a long time. And Mayfield definitely helped bring them to the playoffs and get that win. Their defense was good, and the run game was really good, though, too. So I just think Baker Mayfield's not the type of guy where you can say, all right, here's the ball, throw it 40 times and lead us to a victory. I just don't think he's that guy. So I do think that, apparently the run game under Dave Canales is supposed to be better. So I think you got to hope that improves. And then if that improves, I think Baker can be better. You can start to use play action more. I think that helps a quarterback. But if your run game is going to be horrendous, I think it's going to put Baker Mayfield in a pretty bad spot, and thus put the offense in a bad spot as well. And brutal, as Bucs also mentions that, like, Baker had one of the best run games in the league in Cleveland. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, like, those guys are really, really good. So have to stay healthy, have a shot this year. How many touches does Sean Tucker realistically get this year? Like I said, I think Rachaad White's a running back one, but Sean Tucker could get some touches for sure.
Yeah, I think like 10 touches, 5-10 touches a game is realistic.
Yeah, maybe
on a week by week basis.
Yeah, it all depends on how Chase Edmonds does, I think, too. I think he's gonna get first crack, probably. I think Edmonds will probably get a lot of the early touches early in the year, but
at running back too, even after.
Yeah, I think so. If he's healthy, he's been a little banged up, but Fernando's putting in the chat Brady's stats from Brady's 2022 year, and also said, because if you look the stats last year, had similar stats to Baker's best year. So
4,700 yards.
Baker had 2 more touchdowns, same amount of picks, but like over 1,000 less yards. So if Baker Mayfield gives you that year, this year, the Bucs are in good shape.
Yeah. The upside with Baker, obviously, he has that playoff experience. That 2020 season, he was playing healthier than what he has been. You know what I mean? That last year in Cleveland was rough. He was playing with a torn up shoulder for 3/4 of the year, if not longer. And ever since then, people have also talked a lot about how he just hasn't had a chance to settle in with any NFL team since then. Because his departure from Cleveland was right around the pandemic. And then since then, he has just bounced around pretty much everywhere. Went from Cleveland to Carolina to LA to now Tampa Bay. Went through the full offseason program for the first time in 3 years. 3 years. So I think, getting a full training camp, getting those preseason reps, even though they did seem limited, he was getting snaps during the week at practice. I like to think that if Dave Canales can really hone in on what this guy is good at, and he can, here's this term again, but he can just keep Baker a game manager. Like, I feel like he can thrive in that role. And I do think that he can play the role of game manager and maybe have enough swagger to do some extra if this offense runs smoothly enough. But we just got to see. Like you said, in Cleveland, he had a good run game, had a good defense, and the Bucs are going to have to do that if Baker is going to ball out this year.
Yeah, for sure.
By the way, watching Clemson drive on Duke right now, up 21-7 in the fourth quarter after a nice QB run for a first down.
And a flag.
You said, yeah. So that's gonna.
Okay.
So you said. Sorry, I meant to finish my point there. You said Clemson's not gonna hang on, or Duke's not gonna hang on.
I don't know if Duke's gonna hang. I mean, I said that when it was 13-7. Now it's 21-7. But I mean, that's, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, obviously, Clemson needs a touchdown here, but
yeah, scores change fast. Don't get me wrong, but there's been a lot of upsets.
Yeah, for sure. Playoff berth depends on 2 words: offensive line. People forget we had a 45-year-old Tom Brady with an offensive line with the worst injury bug as far as I can remember. Yeah, for sure. And it's already started. Like Ryan Jensen, you were hoping he was going to start the year and play the whole year, out for the year. So like it's already begun there. First game, 12-10 Bucs. Clack 5 White. That's his prediction. 12-10 Bucs. Kicker is a player of the game plus defense. Flores, Brian Flores, he's referring to as a good defensive coordinator. Scare me. You're in Ellenwood, Georgia. Appreciate you watching from Georgia. We have another person from Georgia. I'm not sure if he's still in the chat, but he's in the chat a little bit earlier, so that's cool. Defense needs to improve. Baker can take us far, but he can't carry us like Brady did. Perfect. Like, honestly, like a perfect analogy. As we wrap up here in the next few minutes. That is a perfect analogy, I think. Clemson QB, Cade Klubnik, possible first overall pick of 2025. We'll see. I'm not seeing it tonight. I think he's been terrible tonight. I don't know. I'm sorry, but I don't mean to crush the kid.
Yeah,
but
they're not. I mean, they're not doing very much.
I thought, early on, he missed some weird, easy throws. Yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, like I said, drop some predictions. Before we head out here, we have about 2 minutes left. Drop predictions for the Bucs Week 1 game against the Minnesota Vikings in the chat. What do you guys think?
What did you make of? I know we're talking college football now, but we're wrapping up. Not getting a lot of Bucs questions here. What do you think of Colorado? You think they're the real deal, or are they going to fizzle out at some point?
I like Shedeur Sanders, man. Like, Shedeur looks good. Travis Hunter's really good.
Dude, he got some work with the GOAT. I mean, clearly.
Yeah, I think they're gonna cool off a little bit once they play some of these other bigger schools. But like, I think they're gonna be respectable. And I think it's just the beginning. Like,
if they win week 2, they're gonna be the only team you hear about all year.
Well, who did they play? Nebraska, right?
Yeah.
I think they do win.
Dude, at this point, like, I want to suit up, go play for Deion Sanders. Like, it's a fun program, and I would like to root for them this year,
Yeah, for sure. 2020, 24-21 Bucs Week 1. Currently Holland, soon to be Newport Richie. That's awesome. That's really cool. Man, I'm so ready to see Kalijah Kancey. I'm just playing y'all. I like looking at those weird mock drafts. Yeah, thank God you're just playing us. Sanders in next year's draft. Too early to tell for that. Colorado's playing with house money for sure. Because nobody expected them to be there. Like Deion said it best, like nobody really expected them that. So USF missed out. Hollywood, not Holland. Okay. Hollywood, a little bit different. Still cool, but a little bit different.
A little typo. Just a couple thousand miles away.
Yeah, it's all right. Bucs 26. Minnesota 16, and predictions from Fred Moore. Like I said, as we have about 30 seconds left, I want to thank all you guys for joining. I really appreciate it. The first time we ever did this, 16-14 Vikings. Bucs D give up a big play to give the Vikings go ahead field goal in the last minute. Could see it. It was a very Bucs thing to do. So Definitely could see it. Like I said, thank you all so much for joining this live. I really appreciate it. Like I said, plan on doing this throughout the season. Clack 5 White has Rashad White on his fantasy draft, so that's cool. Yeah, thanks a lot to Rhett for joining in as well. Thank you, Chucky Bob, watching from South Dakota. Thank you, everybody who watched. We will talk again soon, and go Bucs.